Hi, I'm part of the Gen Z age group and I like to stay connected 24 by 7. I am glued to my screens and I think many people of my age group also are. We like to stay connected 24 by 7. We like to stay on top of every single notification that we get. That's why we have so many of these screens around us, right? But when we travel by air, whenever we're in a flight, we miss out on the thing we love the most: internet connectivity. Sure, when you're traveling internationally, you get some form of internet connectivity, but that's very, very limited. It's only on a few flights, and oftentimes you have to pay for it. There is a big internet hole all over India because our domestic flights have zero internet connectivity, and whenever an international flight with internet connectivity enters Indian airspace, they have to shut that off. Now the Indian telecom operators like Jio and Airtel have tried to fix this gap. They've tried to plug this hole by announcing in-flight roaming packs that give you some form of internet connectivity as soon as you're up in the air. But this only comes into effect when you have exited the Indian airspace, which means you have to be on an international flight. You can't do this on a domestic flight anywhere in India. But this is set to change very, very soon. Viasat, a California-based satellite communications provider, is set to work with ISRO to give Indians in-flight connectivity even on our domestic flights. They are trying to fix the huge gaping internet hole all over India. Now, how is this going to happen? ISRO is all set to launch its most high-tech satellite called GSAT-20 by the end of this year, by the end of 2024. Now, GSAT-20 is a throughput satellite which can send data at much higher speeds than traditional conventional satellites. And Viasat is set to take advantage of just that to give us internet connectivity. Imagine blazing fast 5G speeds while you're cruising 20,000 feet up in the air, not having to download a single episode of your favorite show, being able to doom scroll endlessly on Instagram and video call any of your family members. That is the promise of Viasat. Now, Viasat is already working with the US Air Force, the Irish Air Corps, and many other flight manufacturers. And once ISRO satellite is up and running, they're going to do the same with us. They're going to provide us with high-speed data connectivity while we're flying 20,000 feet up in the air. But is this something that people really want? Besides the chronically online doom scrollers like myself, do people really care about internet while they're flying? Or is this a time for quiet and peaceful introspection and some downtime away from our screens? Let's find out how people fly. How do you spend your time when you're in a flight?
Reading a book, maybe one of the songs that I've downloaded, I'll be listening to them.
I get bored usually. Sometimes I have work on my laptop and sometimes I download things already to watch because there's no internet on the flight.
When I travel, I use that time to spend some time by myself. Probably read a book.
If you had internet on your domestic flight, would you use it?
That would be a welcome yes. But I've experienced in-flight Wi-Fi while traveling abroad. But if that's coming in India, that would be a welcome change for definitely.
Personally, no, because mostly the domestic flights are probably that, especially the ones I take is maximum 2 hours, right? So I rather spend some time dissociating from the outer world and just kind of being on my thoughts. That's what I prefer.
I'll be fine if I get it, but not enthused about it.
Definitely, because right now we have to download something before boarding the flight. And there are times when you forget to download and then you're left with nothing to do in the flight. So yeah, it's better if we get internet in the flight, yeah.
So if I say flights are a space where you can just enjoy your downtime, would you agree or disagree?
I do agree. I think that's how I spend my journeys. I like to be on myself and probably do nothing at times.
If you have Wi-Fi or you have data that you can use, I think we would end up doom scrolling at some point in time during the flight.
I would prefer for my me time that I spend in flight.
That's up to us if we want to take that time out. But if it's there, if it's available, that's nothing like it. Like it's an added advantage only.
I think people would be glued to their screens because nowadays people are using internet so much. I don't think they would have a choice.